Hey all, back with another video on the Qiewa Q1 Hummer and the customization that I've done on our two scooters. This one's my son's. We've had these about a year and I've got over 800 miles on them. So I had to do some maintenance recently, and while doing that I did some more customization to it. I've been doing different things to them over the whole year we've had them, and they're totally customized at this point. And so I'd just go over and show what we did. So first of all, I'm just going to walk around a little bit, show you what it looks like. This is my son's again. His favorite color is the lime green, so I kind of did this one all in, stuck with that color scheme throughout, and came out pretty good. So there's the front end of it. Customized the lights on the side, made them a different color, the lime green, to stick with that color scheme. We have our acrylic LED boards, which at this point looks like it's the only two that Qiewa ever shipped, and I don't know if they're ever even going to sell them anymore. They just say sold out on the website. I'm told that they were doing this just to see how much interest there was in these boards, and I ordered them really quick after they had up their video on YouTube, and someone they tell me that they shouldn't have been shipped, but I purchased them and somebody accidentally shipped them to me. So I believe I've got the only two of these boards that exist, at least at this point. And again, you can see there's a perfect color I found on them. Maybe hard to see. I'll do a shot in the dark here at the end of the video to match my lime green that I did on the side here, and also the headlights. So let's start with the things we did to them. Okay, let's start up here on the handlebars. And the first thing I'll point out is this nice bar extender, handlebar extender that I mounted on here. And I did that because I wanted to get things off the handlebar, which is getting kind of crowded. You can see I have a nice voltage meter here too. But it's getting too crowded on here. I want to clear up things because you need to be able to obviously push these out to fold your handlebars, and with stuff clamped on here, it was getting too crowded. So I decided to get a handlebar mount. I wanted to get a better light, which we did, and picked that up on, first saw them on AliExpress and was going to order them there, but I found the same thing on Amazon for maybe $8-9 more, but could get it within a day or two as opposed to the 2-week waiting time. And this is nice. It's aluminum. It's sturdy. No clamps. You just mount it to the front. These are meant for bicycles, of course. Here's the box. And yeah, it's meant for bicycle mounts on the front of bicycle handlebars. So that was his intent. But I saw this and I liked it because there's no common way to mount this to the Qiewa scooter, or any of them for that matter. There's some with the brackets that extend off your normal handlebar and then have like a bar that run through it. But then you got two brackets on your handlebar again. And I don't think that's as stable anyway. This is nice and solid, aluminum, looks good. There's basically just two holes there. They give you some hardware. I had to get custom hardware. I just went down to my Ace hardware store to get the hardware that I needed. So that's what it is. And here's what it looks like, of course, on the scooter. As you can see, I painted the bar part of it, the lime green, so that sticks out nice. And basically what I did is, you see I have this warning label on here for GPS tracking, for theft purposes, though I don't think I'm going to have any problem with it. I've got good lock for it, and the alarm thing, is a deterrent as well. But where your handlebars fold here, you can see the part where the handlebar will pivot down there. So after that, and on the other side, those both come up to basically about where the edges of this sticker is. In between there, this is basically just a big square hollow bar. So what I did is I drilled two holes all the way through the bar and got some hardware down at Ace Hardware that would fit. Ran that through the bar, through the bracket, bolted on there. Came out nice and sturdy. I can lift the whole front of the scooter using that. Not that I do, but I can, I guess. And so that's really strong. That's not going anywhere. It's not going to move. So that came out really nice. I was really happy with that bar extender. One of the reasons I wanted to get the bar extender is new headlight. The headlights that come on the scooter aren't terribly great for seeing. They're really good for being seen. But if you're driving at night, we do drive at night quite a bit, it's not best for seeing where you're going. So I wanted to get something better. I had previously had a couple of Blitzu flashlights on the side, and those are really good for 12 bucks. Those things are amazing, the Blitzu flashlights or bike lights. But I wanted something better than that. They claim this light to be 1200 lumens. I don't know if that's true or not. I can tell you it's insanely bright. And the other good thing about it, the way they say this in their advertising, this is another thing I found first on AliExpress, but then found under a different name, but it looked identical on Amazon. Again, for a little bit more money, but I could get it in a day or two. So I bought it off Amazon, and very happy with it. Very, very bright light. However, coming down the road, I've had my son ride down the road and come back towards me. It's not blinding at all to people. Their lenses point the light down more, but you can still, literally I have this light pointed out 30 feet ahead of the scooter for the brightest spot, and it's not annoying or blinding at all to somebody oncoming. So that's great about that light. It's really bright. Really happy with that. Here's what that box looks like. Basically, it came from China. It's the same one from AliExpress, and comes with a lot of mounting stuff. 2 different mounting methods, and it's a really, really nice light. I like it a lot. It's three brightness settings. The lowest setting is about the same as what those Blitzu lights I had on were doing, and they claim to be 350 lumens. So it has a low, medium, and high, and the high setting, it just lights up, and it throws the light pattern actually all the way down in front of the scooter, pretty close. So it gives you light all the way from the scooter going forward for quite a distance, and off to the sides quite well too. It's a very good light for this. So really happy with that. Rechargeable, 4,400 milliamp hour battery. I think it'll last a couple hours at least on the highest setting, and that's more than enough for our use. So really happy with that. Got that mounted on there. All right, next to the light, I have a voltage meter. And this is something I put on a while ago, and basically it's replacing the USB charging port with that little compass built into it. I really didn't have a need for a USB charger on the scooter, and the compass was pretty much useless. So I got rid of that, and that was something that was, taking room on the handlebar. So I got rid of the port. I basically just cut the wires off of it, because the wires going into the USB charging port is direct battery power, and it's not turned off. So it's always on. That the USB charging port would always be on. It's 48 volts, or basically whatever the battery nominal voltage is going into it on those 2 wires, which was going into the USB. On the USB charger, there's a little converter in there taking the battery voltage down to 5 volts for USB charging. I just gutted that all out. I bought these nice little meters on Amazon, not expensive. I don't know, maybe 15 bucks or so, I don't remember. And hooked that up there. Hot glued it onto a little, it kind of just made a homemade base. This is actually, the bottom of this base is part of that USB charger. I just reused it in my own way, and got that on there, and then just strapped it around that bar, and that holds nicely on there. I can see my exact voltage of the battery, and there's also a battery indicator on it, like you have on the scooter. But this one, you can calibrate however you want. So when I know this thing's 100% charged, I calibrated this so it'd be 100%. My low battery indicator, I put it, I believe, 39 volts, because that's, if not it's pretty close to the cutoff voltage of the scooter, where it would cut off, and you don't want to run this battery any lower than that. That's actually running it really low. So yeah, I can see exactly where my battery voltage is now. So I like that. I wanted to do that a while ago, and finally got around to doing it. So I like that. We got our meter, we got our light, we got this custom bar we put on here to hold both of those, and so that's good. Okay, moving along on our brake levers, we just got some rubber colored grips, which are nice. They feel good, look good on the scooter. Again, got those off Amazon. $8 and you get like a pack of 6 with different colors and such. So those came out nice. You also notice we have some different hand grips here. These are nice hand grips, and they're leather. They're actually real leather. Got lucky to find one in this color, but they just had this color in like a tannish yellow with this style that I could see. So we got lucky there. These are really nice. They tighten on both ends, so these things aren't going anywhere. And they feel really good. This is really comfortable. I like these grips. And it's kind of, if you ever driven a car or whatever with a real leather steering wheel, you know the feeling of that. It just feels good to hold on to those things. Okay, so next, on one end of the handlebars, we've got a mirror. This is a different mirror than what we originally had. The original one we weren't too happy with because it would move and stuff, going over bumps. The locking mechanisms in them had plastic involved, and so you got to be careful about tightening it, and then things slip. These were actually motorcycle mirrors, designed for motorcycles. All the locking mechanism, the screw, the bolt on the other side, it's metal. There's actually metal. So and literally they say in the instructions, don't be afraid to crank these things. You're not going to break them. And actually, these bolts were hard to turn in. Like I thought they were cross-threaded, and I was looking at it, and then looked at the instruction again, and it said again, it's like, it's going to be tight, just keep turning. So I'm like, all right, and I did, and sure enough, I mean, that's just the way they are. They lock down tight. You can still adjust them now, but they're not going to go anywhere. They're really nice. So happy with those mirrors. And going down to the other side, on the other end, just bought like a CNC aluminum end cap in a green color, and that's nice. It's mainly just for looks, but a lot of times we just lean the scooters against the wall or something, and this is gonna protect my hand grip and the scooter in general. Plus it looks pretty good, and so there we go. I think that's about it for the. Oh, also we have, of course, our turn signal indicator here right on the left side, so you can activate your turn signals left or right, and the tail light is in the middle there. Go ahead and turn that on actually. So there's the tail light. And I've got both of these. I've got one in the front too, and I've got them both rigged to this same controller. So now I'm doing a right turn. You can see on the back there. And then again on the front, signaling right turn. So those are nice. We like those. It's when you're riding, we ride in bike lanes a lot, and when you're coming up to a street or something, there's traffic. It's nice to let them know where you're going, because a lot of times they'll just hesitate, not knowing what you're doing, even if you're not going to impede their way. So that's a good idea. Again, I did a video on these, so I'm not going to go over too well, but I've got the lights. The back one mounted on the fender, just with some holes through the fender, and then these like giant wire tie wraps. I don't want to say giant, but they're very sturdy, and they hold this thing on here without any issues whatsoever. So that's those, and so that pretty much covers what we've done on the front of the scooter, or on the handlebars. Give you one more look at it there from the rider's perspective. Okay, so let's just move on down from the handlebars, go down the front, and you can see we've added a bottle holder here. This works pretty good for bottled water or something. We also, I don't have them on the scooters right now, but we have some carrying bags that we mount on the inside here, so you can put more stuff in it, and they also have a phone holder on top, a clear pocket for your phone, so that's nice too. So coming down here after the bottle holder, we have a lock. This is a foldable lock, works really well. Stays on here, doesn't rattle or nothing. It's nice and tight on there, good mechanism. And you put the key in, unlock it, and then you can unfold this thing into basically a big circle and lock the scooters up with that. We each have one of those, and that thing's good. We love that too. Coming down further from there, actually let's go around the front. We have our lights, the stock lights that came with the scooter. I painted those green, as you can see. And I actually made the lights themselves green by putting in, let's just do that now. The headlights here, they're this lime green color, and actually the side lights are that same lime green color now, which actually matched my acrylic board perfectly. So that all worked out well. Now the way I did the color on these, and you can do just about any color you want, is I ordered these this is what it is. There's different colors. There's probably maybe 10, at least 10 different colors in here. Blue, purple, I'm going to use purple, green, yellow, orange, red. I don't know all the colors. There's quite a few colors in there. And they're basically used for like production purposes, where you would put this in front of a spotlight or something to change the coloring or effect. So that's what these were. These were, I don't know, 8 or 10 bucks for a package of 10, 12 of them. I don't even know how many are in there. But basically all I did with these, as you can see, here's what I did for the headlights. I cut out round circles of them, and basically on the headlights, these are rings here at this outside part, which I painted black on his, or normally silver. Those can just unscrew, and then after that there's a glass lens that comes out, and then the LED is behind that. So what I did is I opened up this, took this ring off, and then cut these circles the size that would just fit inside the ring, so they're not going to come out the front. They're bigger than what's showing there. And then I actually used 3 of them to get the color, the darkness that I wanted. Put them inside the ring, and then screw the ring back onto the light. Did have to modify that lens a little bit. It's plastic, it's not glass. And it basically has a little bit that sticks back that goes over the LED. So once I put a few layers of this film in there, it was keeping it from going all the way back in where you could screw it on good. So I had to cut part of that lens down to get it to fit on. But again, it's plastic. I took a snippers, just snipped it down to get it to the length where I could screw this back on securely again. So that came out really good. Again, painted the casing with the green paint, and again for the side lights now did the same thing. If you take these 2 screws out here, and then carefully you can pull this whole plastic piece off the side of the scooter. It's going to be glued down a little bit on the inside, but if you're careful you just pull out without breaking it. And then I just again cut some lengths of this film, and let me show you here. I've got some here. I haven't done mine yet, but I have the film cut out just so it will fit. And here's the plastic casing that I took off my scooter. So basically, take that off. You put your film inside of there, however many pieces you want. I'm going to use 3 again. That seems to be one isn't dark enough or show the color enough, so I'm using 3 in my case. And then let's go over to mine real quick. You can see right now I have this one off this side, so here's the LED strip. Still wired in there, just kind of hanging there, but I got the plastic case off. So once I put the film in there, I'll just put this back up over the LED strip, put the screws back on, the bolts back in. There's a nut on the other side, so you have to have the lid off to do this. And then after I do that, I'll run some hot glue across the top just to seal it from water and such. So that's that. That's how I got the color. Again, you could do that with, like I said, there's 10, 12 different colors in that film kit I bought. You can make whatever color you want, and that's an easy way to do that. Okay, so that's my the front lights we've done in that color. Moving on down, put a different sticker on the front that matches this color scheme. I'm not sure what that is, some clothes brand or something. I don't really know. And so that's the front end of it so far. Okay, down at the bottom here again, painted recently I've took the whole front end apart, because I needed to do some maintenance. One of his shocks were bent, and so I needed to fix that. So I bought new shocks, got them off AliExpress for a big discount compared to on the website, buying them directly. And it's, yeah, I would get parts like this. Tires, got those off AliExpress for big savings. I'll be uploading another video soon on the process I went through on this. Basically what I did is I replaced, these are brand new shocks, the whole piece, the forks, the shocks, everything's brand new on both sides. Brand new tire, brand new inner tube. I replaced the bearings in the front wheel. Took a look at the brakes while I was doing it. Brake pads are fine. And yeah, so I basically redid the whole front end, and like I said, there'll be another video on that coming up soon. Again, using that rubberized paint that I used throughout this thing on both the shock springs and the rim, the front rim. Came out really good. I'm really happy with that stuff. Glad I tried it. You could just use regular paint too, I suppose, but this has a different feel to it. It actually feels rubbery. And I like the idea that at some point, if you wanted to, you could take all this off. It'd be back to the original, or you could repaint it with some other color. And seems to be durable so far. Looks good. I was happy with the way it came out, the way it went on. Really like that product. And so that's what I did. Front end's completely rebuilt. Everything's new up there. So that went well. Let's move on back. As I spoke of earlier, got the acrylic board on there. The only two that I believe they ever shipped, so we got lucky with that. The acrylic board has the original metal board is still underneath it. And that's because there's a groove in this board where the LED strip goes, and the metal board kind of blocks that off or closes that off. So there's still a metal board underneath it. The acrylic board's mounted on top. Now because of that, we have our grip tape, this nice custom grip tape that we put on the metal board that's underneath the acrylic board. So this isn't grip tape here. You're just looking through the acrylic board at the grip tape, which is actually on this bottom metal board. So you're basically like looking through a window at the grip tape underneath. This piece of grip tape, however, in the middle is going right down the middle, and that's on the outside. So there's grip tape on top of the board to help with your standing. Okay, as we follow back down the board again, see this handle I got mounted on the back. This is the last thing I've done to this, and this isn't. Qiewa's basically just recently put out a video on a handle that they may or may not offer. I don't know. They're probably judging interest again, like with the boards that would mount here. This is a handle I got off AliExpress. It's meant for a Dualtron. You'll notice the hole pattern is not the same as what's on the Qiewa. So, and I like using all my board. I like the length of this board, so I didn't want to give up board space by putting a handle there. So I came up with this idea. I got this handle off AliExpress, like 28 bucks. Nice handle. I'm really happy with it. It looks good. Have these blue anodized screws. They give you these red screw, indentated screw holders. And again, I had to get custom hardware because I did a custom application here. Basically what I did is I had to make a metal plate. That's this green thing here. I painted the plate green. And it's basically, the plate is mounted underneath the board, and it's attached by these two screws that go down under the board with nuts. So that metal plate mounts up to those two screws, that the original ones on the back of the board. And that's how that's holding on there. Well, then the other side, basically the opening of the board, there's a opening there that's, the board's not flat there, it goes in the shape of it. So in that opening, the holes for this this handle fit perfectly within there. So you can see I've got the handle going across the back of the board, but the mounting points are going straight down through a couple of spaces, which again got at the local hardware store, then down through my metal plate through some holes I drilled in it. And I had to cut this plate and drill the holes and everything myself. And it's not hard, right? It's just you look at it and you do it. And painted it, put the handle on there, and man, I'm happy with that. So much easier to carry this thing around. And it gives you a place to rest your foot, especially on mine, because I did a torque mod on my scooter to get faster acceleration and power climbing hills. And on mine, you've got to brace yourself if you're starting from a stop and you hit that accelerator, you got to be leaning forward, and it helps to have somewhere to brace your foot. This is going to help with that too. I used to brace my foot up against the back here bracket for the fender, but I don't like doing that. This is going to be a better solution, and it's so much easier to carry this thing now. That's on there nice and solid. So really happy with the way that handle came out. A little custom work with the bracket and stuff, but it wasn't hard at all to do. Just took some looking into it and seeing what I got to do next. Had to modify it a little as I went, make a little extra cut along the back, because first it was impeding with the movement of the suspension. When you push down on the board, due to the suspension, this part kind of goes forward, and I was bottoming out on that. So just had to make a few adjustments on it, but that came out really good. Really happy with that. You can see now on my back shocks, I really wanted to replace these, but I couldn't find any on AliExpress, and I wasn't going to pay the $70 that Qiewa was asking for them. There's really nothing wrong with these. I took them apart, cleaned them up. They look pretty good. Maybe the springs are a little worn, after 800 miles more. Seems like I can adjust the suspension on this thing, so it's really soft right now. Too soft for me. My son rides this one, so I left his really soft because he's 100 pounds less than me. So they came out good. Black, again, just like black Rust-Oleum or whatever kind of paint for the inner part. That used to be gold, and then I used the green on the springs. And those came out really nice. Moving on to the back wheel. Used the same green paint, rubber paint on the bracket covering the nut there and on the back rim itself. And didn't want to do a whole lot of taping off on this thing, so I just kind of I did a little taping like around here, but on certain places I just like if the spray gets on it, it's not going to be a full coat of paint, so I just want to see how it come out. This side came out really good. Man, I really like this paint. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Look at it. Looks really good. Don't like the gold color, the original gold color of the rims. I'm not a big fan of gold on rims, and I think this looks really good. Okay, as you can see, also I did a different LED modification. Anyone could do this. This isn't nothing special. These LEDs I've got? Basically, there's a second controller. There's one controller, LED controller for this acrylic board, which came with the board. They give you everything you need for that. I bought a second one just like it. Once I got this and saw what the controller was, it's very common. You get those on Amazon as well, or eBay or anywhere, and they're like $20 for a light strip. For $20 you can get maybe like a 3-foot light strip, 2-foot light strip, about 3-foot LED strip, the circuit that goes along with it, and a controller. What you need to give it is 5 volts. You can also buy a 48 to 5 volt converter, just like, or you could even reuse the one that was in the USB port if you really wanted to, and convert you can find 48 volts, the battery voltage in this thing, several different places in there. So I pulled 48 volts through a 48 volt to 5 volt converter. I'm actually using the same converter that they gave me with the acrylic board. So I have one 48 to 5 volt converter going to 2 separate LED controllers, going to 2 separate LED strips, the one in the board, and then I have a second one that I just rigged in myself. Had to drill a hole through the chassis and then seal it off really good, which I did. And you can see this strip here. This is the bottom of it. You can see it kind of lighting up there. That's coming out of the chassis for where it's plugged onto the controller. Coming up the back, I ran it all the way up the back of the fender, hot glued it in there, all the way around the back. Now on the back side, I positioned it so it's effectively a tail light also at this point. And then back down the other side. On the other side, I didn't need to go back into the chassis at that point because the strip just ends. So I just ran it down the front end of the chassis there until I ended it there. And that's just all hot glued on. Hot glue seems to stick pretty good to these chassis and these metal pieces. And lights up the back wheel really nice at night, gives it a great effect. And again, got that same color. It's the exact same light strip, controller, everything as what was on came with the acrylic board. So that's that. Here's the other side of the rear wheel. and that came out good. Now you can see I didn't it was so I didn't want to take a lot of time taping this thing up, and yeah, I'm not a perfectionist, so I just basically just I had the wheel, of course I had the wheel off, the tire off, everything. The rim was just by itself, and the motor at this point, and painted it with rubber paint. I didn't care if I got overspray, and actually if I really wanted to, I could take that off rather easily. You can see it's kind of light green going in there because I didn't really care about the overspray. And all said and done, it still looks good. I'm not even going to worry about that. But like I said, if I wanted to, I could scratch the overspray off there, but I'm not even going to go that far. It looks fine. See a nice new tire on there, brand new tire. His old tire is worn down smooth after 800 miles. And here's the other side, the shock, the handle. And yeah, that's it. Came out really good, really happy with it. Really happy with the way it came out. Scooters ride nice, get a lot of mileage on them. And okay, just really quick on mine, just want to show you mine really quick. I went with the purple on mine. Same rubber paint, plasti dip. And it came out nice. I like the purple look, looks good. Go do the purple lights on my side. And got my back wheel off, got the motor off right now. I did my back shocks. I need to do some touch up on the black paint on the shock there, but those came out really good. And just really quick over here, here's what my light holder looks like, the purple. They're my front light holders. They came out nice. And then here's my lights with the film in it. So that's all good. Those came out really good. Like the way that looked. And fully customized. I think we're done messing with these now. It's just going to be riding from here on out. And like I said, I've been doing a little bit as we've had these over the year, a little bit at a time. I'm constantly tinkering with them. And yeah, it's I think it's about where I guess I didn't really have a vision going forward, but I'm happy where it ended up. And I don't think there's a whole lot more we can do. I also got room still here on the handlebar extender for a GoPro mount, which we're going to do that and start doing some rides and maybe doing a little recording on the rides. Like I said, the only other thing I did on mine that I didn't do on my son's is a torque modification, which you got to open up the controller to do that. I've done a separate video on that, and if you don't think you're getting enough acceleration or power climbing a hill, maybe you're a little heavier. I'm 180, and I ride with my son who's 85 pounds, 86, something like that. He's 11 years old. And the thing is, he could pull away from me, and especially going up hills, he'd climb a hill a lot faster than me. So I wanted to be able to keep up with him. I did this torque mod on this, and I've probably gone several hundred miles with that torque mod now. And I'm very happy with it. No problems whatsoever with it. It works great. I get super fast acceleration, great hill climbing power, can keep up with my son going up a hill. And even in a flat race, like I said, I'm 100 pounds less than him. Same scooters, same speed settings, everything maxed out on both. Third gear, we did a race once from a gate down the street to our driveway, which is maybe 100 yards, I'm guessing. And from a dead stop, I took off, out-accelerated him. By the time we got to our driveway, which is about 100 yards, he had caught up to me because his weight eventually is going to give him, a big advantage. Weight is a big advantage. The lighter the rider, the quicker the acceleration, and probably ultimately that. I don't know if that's going to affect your top end, but you'll get that top end a lot quicker with less weight. So that was a good thing with the torque mod. I basically it took him about 100 yards to catch me. And that's a pretty good feeling before he would just leave me in the dust. Okay, so that's about it for now. I'm gonna do a quick shot here of his scooter in a darker area so you can get a better idea of the lighting effects on it. And that'll be it after that.